Welcome to 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. The new Portersville Bridge project is now complete. WJTS was there for the opening.
Finally, the day is here where we can cut the ribbon and use this bridge. And like I said, it is exciting. There's a lot of people that have put a lot of hard work into this thing. This spans back many years ago. I see Commissioner Fleck here, Leon Fleck, and Mary Lou Schnell and Jim Kemper, and there were many others that were involved in this project. And you know, our heartfelt thanks to them for taking the lead on this project. And we are here today and to celebrate this. So I'm going to turn the program over to Norm Wenthold, our county engineer, who was the project engineer, and he's just going to give you a brief history of the project. So, Norm.
Well, thank you, John, and I hope everybody can hear me. But as far as the history goes in this project, there's probably very few county officials that have been around as long as what I have and involved with this thing. When I started with the county 17 years ago, this was one of the first things that was brought to my attention that needed to be done. And short of probably Mary Lou with Du Bois County and Larry Macklin with Davis County, there's probably not too many that's been around as long as I have worked on this thing. But as far as the actual project goes, we signed a contract with Crossroads in 2000 to actually start on the design of the bridge and the road, and we went through several hurdles to get this thing moving, and hurdles ranging anywhere from all the archaeological stuff we had to go through on these hillsides over here to the endangered species in the river, the English fan-shelled mussel, which if you're not too familiar with that, I'm sure Chip can give you some information on that. But like I say, the Indian artifacts up here, and Leon's famous words, the cornflakes. But we did battle through all that, and then we had to fight DNR with the old bridge, which you can see is still standing yet. But the intent is that that's coming down and going to a state park over by Charleston someplace. We had wildlife passageways we had to encompass into the bridge, but there was just a lot of hurdles that we had to get through. And fortunately, with the stamina that we had with county officials, commissioners from both Davis County and Du Bois County, we were able to fight through it. And now we've got a wonderful new bridge and a nice road leading up to it. So, again, with county officials, I don't know what else to say other than it's been a long road, but we got her done.
And Norm worked tirelessly on this project, and we owe a debt of gratitude to your hard work on this, and thank you very much for your work. I'm going to call on Larry Vollmer. He's just going to mention some of the elected officials that we have here. And
we'll start off Steve Berg, our highway super. Well, let me start off with Commissioner Randy Fleck, County Commissioner John Berger, Anthony Wichman, Tony. He likes to be called Tony, so we'll go with Tony. Tony Wichman. He's a commissioner from Davis County. Myself, I'm a commissioner. Larry Vollmer from Du Bois County. We got Steve Berg, a highway supervisor. I seen it down there, Donna Schrader, councilman from Du Bois County. I thought I seen Mel Minke, councilman from Du Bois County. Jerry Hunefeld, councilman from Du Bois County. I don't know if we got any other. Larry Macklin. Where's he at? Oh, okay. He's Davis County Highway Supervisor. I think he's going to be retiring here shortly. He's going to, the golden years, he'll be what you call the golden years. I don't know how golden they are, but anyway. And then our past commissioner here, Mary Lou Schnell. And we got Jim Kemper, past Du Bois County Commissioner. Oh, there's Leon Fleck. He's councilman, Du Bois County councilman. I think that's pretty well it. But anyway, I'm the commissioner in this district up here, and it was about 9 years ago, or probably it was the fall, about 9 years ago it was, when I was in the commissioners meeting and they picked the engineer for this project. And I was sitting beside of Bob Licklider there, and we were scoring, you know, like the commissioners. And by the way, Bob Licklider, he couldn't be here today. He's up at Indianapolis. He's got health problems, and we need to kind of keep him in our prayers. Hopefully he'll get over it. Same way with Norm Wenhold there with the health problems. Keep him in your prayers. But anyway, if somebody, we were sitting there scoring just like the commissioners, and if somebody told me it'd be 9 years till we'd be cutting a ribbon on this project, I'd say, well, you're nuts, you know. It's not going to happen, but it did. It took a lot of work. I know Norm and I, we were up at Bloomington with this artifacts company, and after we left there, I kind of got the feeling we just wasted our time, which we probably did, but anyway, we tried. And then we had the issue with the deer path down here. We went to Indianapolis on that, and I need to thank Denny Oxley was in on that, and Lyndall Hume. Lyndall Hume really, he turned it around when it comes to that deer path. We need to really thank him for that. We saved a lot of money. I think we'd had to redesign the whole project.
If I can, what he's talking about is, after we fought through all the other environmental issues, which took forever to get done, we were done and ready to build, and they wanted to take one last look, and their idea was that there needed to be a way for the deer to get from one side to the other. So they wanted us to build was it a 10-foot wide?
I thought it was wider than that.
It was 8 or 10 foot.
12-foot wide path underneath the bridge on each side of the river, so deer could cross back and forth, which meant obviously we had to start from the beginning and redesign a whole new bridge. And as Larry said, the commissioners and other officials helped us put a little reason with the agencies on that they backed off, and as you can see, we've got I think a 2 or 4 foot wide path, and I haven't seen many deer using it, but I've only been here for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the signs up yet.
Signage would help.
But anyway, it's been a long road, but it's a very nice bridge, and it'll be here for years to come. And I want to thank Norm Wendell. He put a lot of time into this. Steve Berg did. But we did get it done, even though it took that amount of time. So thanks again, Norm. We also would like to thank Bernard Lockmuller, the engineering firm, for their expertise in this, and Goldman Construction. They done a wonderful job, and they had a few of the the work that needed to be done, they had subbed out. We want to also thank them. Do we need to thank anybody else? John, you got anybody?
Well, Crossroads was involved when we were digging for cornflakes, I guess, right, Chip? So, but anyway, so that's pretty much it.
So I guess we're ready to cut the ribbon. Do we have a ribbon?
Yep.
Luttering Brothers was another one. They were the excavation crew, and I worked with them personally, and they were an excellent group from Tell City. When you're parting with your dirt, it's nice to have people that are easy to work with, personable, and I don't think any of them are here this morning, but they were outstanding as far as communication and things of that sort. And is it the way you want it? And you don't find that very often either. But other than Dr. Doolittle, I think that was the only other person. I said between the bats and the deer and everything else. But there's a few of us residents from Davis County that would, after hearing about Mr. Winholt's health problems and things of that sort, and even in spite of that, Mr. Winholt and the Du Bois County Commissioners, past and present, on behalf of Davis County residents and property owners, I would like to take this opportunity to personally thank you for your efforts above and beyond the requirements of your position on the Portersville Bridge project. The ability to see the bigger picture for the future residents of other residents other than your immediate county is to be commended. I personally came to the conclusion shortly after the bridge was closed that it would take a major disaster of some sort to fully recognize the importance of an alternate route for Highway 231 Hayesville Bridge. It is the insight of your special group of leaders that this was not the case. You should consider yourselves to be included in the category of honest and intelligent leaders working for the present and future middle class of working folks, which is the majority of this area. You are a great example for other county leaders to follow. There really are no words to express how grateful we are to all of you, and it is extremely important to acknowledge your efforts, as I'm sure you have received your share of opposing comments and obstacles. Thank you.
Before we cut the ribbon, I want to add one more big thank you, and that is to the DuBois County Council for appropriating the money for this project. Because had they not appropriated the money, there would be no new bridge here. And John Burns, who's on the council, Rich Eckerly, Stan Burkamp, Jerry Hunefeld, Chick Ollis, he's not here today, Chick Ollis, and Stan Knies.
Stan.
Scott Knies.
Scott
And Greg Kendall.
And Greg Kendall. Them 7 people are the people that that appropriated the money for this project, and it's a good thing they did because it's a very worthwhile project. So, with that, I guess.
That was the year 2000.
Yeah.
That was the year 2000, by the way.
Go hold the bridge.
Donna, grab everybody grab a hand. Mary Lou. Well, yeah. Does anyone else have anything to say that they find? Yes, Karen.
Don't forget to come to the brunch immediately following the ribbon cutting ceremony. All you need to do is go to the DuBois County site and follow the balloons. It's less than a mile.
Okay.
Well, I have a bottle of champagne in memory of my husband, Dallas Crodel, that I don't want to break on me.
Ready to go.
Hit it on the corner. Hit it on the edge. Hit it on the edge.
Also, there was more discussion about the new library in Jasper.
If you go out and you kind of survey the state, and the average square foot per person has been going up over the years as libraries have had more computers in them, you know, all these specialty things that, you know, if you go back 25 years ago, it's pretty much just books and magazines and some 16mm films. And now they're housing things in multiple formats, so that what's happened is library sizes have gone up. And the other thing that's gone up, and this is not intended to be part of the discussion, the use of libraries has shot through the roof all over the state. And so it's not just about having space for all this stuff, it's having space for the people coming in the door. And if I know we're going to talk about this, I have very specific statistics about it. But in general, even though in the last 24 years, since I think it was 1984, the population of the state, I think, has gone up 11% or something like that. And library usage has gone up 44%. That's over the whole state. So it just kind of, I'm not trying to make a case. I'm just reciting, statistics that I know. And these all come from the state library website, statistics like that. So if you take that and kind of do averages per square foot of your community, for example, if you go to Zionsville, just to show you the huge range that you get, and that's a community of about 16,000, and we didn't do the last design of it, or the design of it, and they have a 51,000 square foot building. So that, that gets up towards over 4 square foot per person. If you look at the state average for libraries built of your size population, they're around 1.8. That's historically, if you take the average. So to say you were going to, if your population is roughly 16,000 that you're serving, to say that you're going to build 2 square foot per person, planning for the future and things like that, I think anybody would have a tough time truly criticizing you for that, other than the fact that the economy's lousy, and don't build it now, it's just that type of thing. Build it later, and there's always that going on. And when we met with the staff and talked about specific things that might be part of the vision for this library, it's bigger. And that's not uncommon. It's because of the traffic that goes on these libraries, it's a little bit like build it and they will come. The better the facility is, and some might look at it and say, well, we're just diluting our resources. It's money that we could be spending on schools, we could be spending on roads and all those other things that are important to communities, and that's all a true argument. So the idea of build it and they will come has a valid argument. But the other reality is the better you build them and the more people use them, a higher percentage of people that don't use the library at all and are just wasting their tax dollars on libraries, all of a sudden they get benefit from it because they come to the library and they get benefit out of it. So I don't know how much of that you wanted.
No, I want just straightforward, and you're straightforward guy. In your experience, when someone has built a new library like Zionsville after the fact, has their circulation increased?
It's amazing. And it's not just circulation. Actually, if you look at libraries around the state, circulation is kind of flat. The book has flattened out, and there's multiple reasons for that. One of it is there's so many other resources. You can get them. People order them on Amazon instead of checking them out. Google amazingly has a project where Google's goal is to have every book online. And right now they have a book project with Harvard, and Princeton, and Oxford, and Stanford, and they're literally digitizing their entire collection. And for the ones that are in the public domain, exempt from the copyright laws, right now you can go to Google and get a high percentage of all those collections online. And the benefit to these higher education universities is they have these very deep, very old collections that they can't preserve fast enough. They're literally rotting in their cold storage areas, and you can't get to them. So now all of a sudden you've got all this information that's available. You have less concern over these rotting collections, and what the barrier is now to not having their entire collection online are copyright laws. And if any of you, and actually there was a panel at the American Library Association, or PLA I guess it was, I can't remember last year or the year before, and there was a project manager from Google and then the 5 librarians that manage these academic libraries. But not all of them were academic. One of them was the head librarian from the state of New York. And their consensus was anytime you have a public pressure to get something, like get access to all that material, they'll figure out a way. And so it's probably a matter of time that all these books in your collection are available online. So then the question becomes, well, what's that mean? Well, what that means is it's more readily available, and the reality is that only a small percentage of our population has the ability to pay for broadband access. So then all of a sudden, they'll want to come to the library more to get access to broadband access for computers. And the problem with that is, even though you might say we can reduce our actual book collection, which is dangerous in itself because a lot of people, including my younger kids, they want books. So then you've just multiplied the problem because now you need more computers, and every time you put in a computer, you have space for 600 less books to seat one person. So while the digitization of the book is truly an amazing process, and it's not too far away, libraries are still the place where people who can't afford to buy them on Amazon, can't afford the broadband access, and want help getting their materials, it's where they have to come. And that's the exact reason that despite all the changes in technology, why library use just keeps going up. When I was a much younger man, I'm getting passionate here now, so I'll stop. Tell me to stop when I was working. It was one of our first large library projects was the Bloomington Public Library. And this was like 15 years ago, 16, almost 20 years ago now. And every board meeting, one of the staff departments was required to give a little presentation. It's a very large library, so they kept the board up to date that way. And there was a slide that popped up, and it said video technology will replace the need for the book. And it sounded very current. It was projected by Thomas Edison when he invented the film projector. And then they showed the statistics of how library use has marched through every single evolution of technology and just keeps getting more because people want information, and the libraries are where they go. Now, as long as you're letting me talk, I got one more. Libraries in the past have been known to be the repository of information. It's where you would go in your community if you wanted that old book, or if you wanted to know about the genealogy of your past. Well, what's happened to libraries, and Rita, we've had this conversation, and she knows better than me. I'm just reciting what librarians tell us. What's happened is, because of all these current technologies and the need for popular fiction and the need for things to circulate in libraries because your space is so constricted, libraries have given up on being that repository of information. And what we're seeing more and more to get back to that is they'll put in compact shelving that is not accessible to the public. So you can walk up and say, hey, you know that book that was published in 1950 that's only circulated 22 times over the last year? Do you have that? And the answer could be yes, because they can get back to that. But it takes a little bit of square footage. And it's just one more example of how the library is not just about that big book collection out there. It's about computers, it's about small special collections, it's about meeting spaces.
It's about the library taking over the government's job, because we get so many requests for people where you go to file your taxes. Everybody says go to the library. You got to file your taxes online. Where do you have to go for your unemployment? To file your unemployment. The Department of Workforce Development is sending them to the library. The welfare people are sending them to the library to fill out those forms. And I mean, that's what they're telling them. So we're getting that also as well. And that's why the computer usage is up like it is. And they are sending all those people to us, but they sure aren't giving us any funding to help support it.
This has been 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. For the entire crew, I'm Kurt Gutgsell. Have a great night.